When I first met my husband, we both recently graduated college and we were living on our own. He was a really charming guy and I started spending more time with him. I found out rather early that he wanted to stay a virgin till he married. It wasn't out of religion or so, just the way his parents raised him. At this time, I had slept with a handful of people, but I didn't want to lose him, so I ended up lying about it. We were together and within 2 years, we were both married and have been married for 8 years. Out of all the guys I met, he was really smart and socially savvy. He was always the life of the party. A lot of people considered him his close friend, and he was viewed as someone people can confide in. Somehow he found out about my previous partners to this day. I still don't know who tipped him off. He confronted me about it. I confessed to him. At that time, we were already pregnant with our first child. He was really disappointed with me, and from that day on, he stopped treating me special. All of the small things that he used to do for me were gone. We would still talk, but no longer did he try to involve me in his social circle. He would do a lot of fishy things like come home late at night. We used to have sex like every night, but he really stopped initiating a lot, and it dropped down to like 2 to 3. I did everything to see if he was cheating on me, but I couldn't find any trace of it at all. I checked cell phone records, nothing. I tried really hard to get more back into his life, but he never let me. We still had our good times as a family. We soon had our second child, and he always was a good father. I kind of just accepted that this was the natural order of things. I ended up making a new group of friends, and I told them about my situation. A couple of them suggested to me that the only way to find out if he was cheating was to put a GPS tracker on his card. At first, this thing sounded insane, but they eventually persuaded me. I ended up finding out that he was leaving work during his lunch hour to go back to an apartment. I ended up hiring a PI, and he ended up confirming that my husband was going back with another woman. I ended confronting my husband. I started yelling at him, and in my anger I did slap him in a couple of times. I started frantically crying and asked him why he did this to me. He told me he wanted to have the same experiences that I did. He said that he missed out, and at first thought I did too. He said that he felt weak in the relationship before I had more sexual experience than him. He said he needed to do it to reclaim his masculinity. He told me that if I want to work on our marriage, that we can together. If not, we can go through with a divorce. But if I want to stay, that he is not going to be a punching bag and I can't bring up his infidelity. At first I told him to leave and he did. I started weighing the options that I had, and I still love him. Even though he did all this to me, I still love him. He may not be the best husband, but he is a great dad, and I don't want our children to only see him once a week or any arrangement like that. I don't want to go out into that dating pool as a single mom with 2 children. I ended up asking him to come back, and if we start going to counseling. So far, we have individual and joint sessions together. I ended up finding out that in the course of our marriage, he has slept with 15 women. Our counselor says that he felt weak because of my actions, that his infidelity was motivated because of me. He is not saying it is justified, but that's why my husband did what he did.